Our post-round coverage of the Masters is presented by Bonobos. Look good, play good, repeat. Final round action at the Masters did not disappoint our Jim Nantz, calling the final moments on Sunday.
Scheffler outshines them all at Augusta.
Well, this game's difficult to achieve perfection, but maybe that was the perfect 10 under them. Congratulations, young man. It is so impressive.
Scottie Scheffler, welcome to forever. Scottie Scheffler, your champion at the 2022 Masters. After 4 putting at the final hole, still plenty of room to get it done, as he is the winner of the 86th playing of the Masters. Now 4 wins in his last 6 starts. Scheffler riding the hot hand to a green jacket. Before we say hello to CBS Sports golf analyst Doug Bell, looking good in his bonobos as well.
Yeah.
Doug, beautiful moments here, as it always is on Sunday at the Masters. Scottie Scheffler building enough breathing room to sort of slap it around on the 72nd hole, but he was great from start to finish this week. When you think back at this Masters, how will you remember Scheffler's performance?
Well, I tell you, Joe, I'm going to forgive him for that little hiccup on the last hole. I think that's the first time that he let his mental guard down the entire week. In fact, that's probably the first time he's let his mental guard down over the last 2 months. He finally exhaled to celebrate what has been an incredible run of good fortune and incredible golf. I'll remember this week for obviously Tiger Woods, but also Scottie Scheffler, the first #1 player in the world to win the Masters going back to 1991, Ian Woosnam. It's been a long time when you carry that moniker into the Masters. It's hard to win the green jacket when you were declared the best golfer in the world according to world rankings. And also now here's a Texas kid born and raised in Dallas, and he's now the 10th Texas-born golfer to win a green jacket. That great state has 16 green jackets, and Scottie Scheffler joins in the long line of guys like Byron Nelson and Ben Hogan and Jimmy Demaret, and you go down the line, obviously Ben Crenshaw and others. Pretty darn impressive. And let's say this, Joe, he is the #1 player in the PGA Tour in scrambling. He gets up and down better than anybody else on the PGA Tour. That was on display all week, but especially today at the 3rd hole. Cam Smith birdies 1 and 2, and all of a sudden you're thinking, we have a game on. And what does Scheffler do after missing the green with his second shot? Bumps it into the hill. It caroms up on the green and rolls in for an inexplicable birdie. That was the shot I think was the biggest of the week for Scottie Scheffler. And it didn't win him the green jacket, but it made it a lot easier coming home, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt it's the one that will appear on highlight reels for the rest of time. As Scottie Scheffler will now host the Champions Dinner. He will get his green jacket. All that comes with a Masters moment. But you said it there, world #1 and recently elevating to that status, Doug. Plenty of people had question marks about that number and the validity of it. He puts a stamp on that #1 with this win at the Masters. Scottie Scheffler, the hot hand, if there was a place where he could maybe relinquish it and shirk to the moment, this would have been it on the major stage, but he doesn't. He's this soft-spoken guy that doesn't really give us a lot, but I think his play told us a lot about who he is. What did you learn about Scottie Scheffler this week?
Well, I learned that he can win on the biggest stage in the game, and I think we saw a glimpse of that at the Ryder Cup. He had not earned a PGA Tour victory yet. He got that wild card pick and went to the Ryder Cup and was the star of that team. That gave him an ultra amount of confidence that, yes, I can go out there and win. And then I think a key, he changes caddies, and it happens often on the PGA Tour. And Ted Scott never hits a putt or hits a shot for Scottie Scheffler. But I think a veteran caddy like that who cared for Bubba Watson is worth a shot or two every round. And when you beat back a world-class field in Phoenix, at Bay Hill, the match play, and now the Masters, what a great team they have formed. But again, listen, this is not just a heater. This is a really talented young man. If you ended the season right now, Joe, he would be the PGA Tour Player of the Year with 4 wins and a major championship. But we have 3 more major championships to go and the FedEx Cup playoffs. This could be one of those incredible years for a very talented 25-year-old in Scottie Scheffler. Listen, let's don't sleep on this guy. I don't think the season ends here for him. I think he's got a lot of good golf left.
Already north of 10 M's this year. It's good work if you can find it. And Scottie Scheffler has found something special. A lot going on around this tournament, not just Tiger, but we get some Rory moments here as he tried to complete the career Grand Slam. Posted a number for Scheffler to maybe look at coming down the stretch. Rory tying a final round record with the 64. It was another too little too late moment for McIlroy, but as we look at him on 18, finding the fall line and inducing one of the best roars we heard all week long. Doug, is it too little too late, not just in this tournament, but in the career of Rory McIlroy? Because this is what it is. He is talented, he is solo second, but a 20-something goes out there and is simply unbeatable. How does Rory get his green jacket?
Well, he needs to keep plugging along, and he said that in his interview to Amanda. He said, listen, I'll be back next year. There's no question about it. I thought it was interesting, Joe. I mean, here's a guy who has 3 major championships, and he said today was the most fun he's ever had in his life on the golf course. I mean, this is a guy who's played a lot of good golf, and he's won a lot of important trophies in his life, but today, that 64 was not only the lowest round he's ever had at Augusta, but he said it was the most enjoyable round ever. And so I like that too, because even though there's pressure on these guys and they're ultra talented and rich beyond their wildest dreams, there's still a lot of little boy in all of them. And I thought we saw that today in Rory McIlroy as he closed out with that inexplicable birdie at 18 and then jumped around just like a little kid who grew up in Ireland dreaming of sometime winning the green jacket. And I do think he'll have other opportunities. Again, he's only 32 years old. He's been around a long time, but he'll have many more opportunities. But again, I always harken back. Arnold Palmer could never win the PGA. Tom Watson could never win the PGA Championship. So it happens. Great ones sometimes have that little blip on the radar screen. Sam Snead, the U.S. Open. So hopefully that won't happen to Rory. But sometimes the golf gods simply don't smile on you.
We know that few have a 6th gear like McIlroy, and it's always great when it comes out. We truly saw it here on Sunday. Earlier in the day, we did see some beautiful scenes with Tiger Woods completing what was a poetic finish, climbing up the hill at 18. It was not the number he was looking for. It was not the number we were looking for, but this was really a case of would he or won't he? And it was a resounding yes from Tiger this week. He completes 72 holes, back-to-back 78s on the weekend. But here you see him embracing family. We saw him smiling coming off the 18th, really soaking in the moment. Doug, how do you put this week into words for Woods?
Well, I think we'll always remember this, Joe. 2022, obviously Scottie Scheffler, will remember him for the win, but we'll remember this year, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, as the year that Tiger came back to golf at the Masters and made the cut and played into the weekend. And I really felt Jim Nantz, who always puts things into perspective and just has that knack, and that's what a great announcer does, for touching the right moment. And as he said, this wasn't about another green jacket. This was about inside. And I got goosebumps when he said that. And I got goosebumps when I saw him leave the green and really appreciating that standing ovation that he got. It won't be the last one that he gets. And he showed enough golf and enough game to think that I think he could still win a major championship. Who knows, maybe St. Andrews, but it was an incredible week. And it was all Tiger talk until that last 9 holes when it all focused on Scottie Scheffler. But we'll never forget this year, Joe, this year, the Masters. Tiger came back, and it wasn't the Hollywood ending, but it was good enough for me.
It was a comeback complete, and it is time now for your Bonobos Perfect Fit. A match made in heaven on Sunday was Scottie Scheffler and a green jacket, but your perfect fit to get there, Doug Bell, was what?
Well, Rory McIlroy, again, that was an incredible shot he hit at 18. Put that second shot in the bunker after driving it in the bunker off the tee, and then lo and behold, splashes out and catches that curve. As you mentioned, you described it so well, Joe, caught the fault line. and it took that hard left down to the bottom of the hole. And yeah, Rory and that sand wedge will be married forever. What a great finish. His best round ever at Augusta National.
Doug Bell and CBS Sports HQ, also a match made in heaven. Doug, we appreciate your insights as always.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, taking a look at players to win in their first start as world number one. Remember, Scheffler was 5th in the world, won the Dell Match Play in Austin in his own backyard just a few weeks ago, elevates to world number one, and now he is slipping on a green jacket following the 2022 Masters. Our coverage from Augusta continues on the other side of a quick break. Scottie Scheffler, your winner at the 2022 Masters. We head out to Augusta next on CBS Sports HQ.